Well, I wanna thank all of you. I wanna thank. Thank you. The reason that the senator from Vermont is here tonight is because the cause that you are fighting, standing up to the greed of the pharmaceutical issue. This is not just a California issue, this is a national issue, and your victory here, trust me, is going to reverberate all over this country. Now here's what you got. We got the insane situation that 1 out of 5 Americans who go to a doctor and get a prescription for their illness cannot afford to fill that prescription because the price of medicine is so high. We have the absurd situation, the criminal situation, that the same exact medicine sold here in the United States is sold for a fraction of the price all over the world. A while ago in the late 1990s, when I was a congressman from Vermont, I took a busload of women with breast cancer from northern Vermont over the Canadian border to Montreal. And I will never forget, as long as I live, the tears coming down their eyes when they were able to purchase the medicine they needed, the same exact medicine as they were using in the United States back then, late 1990s, for 1/10 of the price they were paying in Vermont. Now, can you imagine people who don't have a lot of money, who have chronic illnesses, who have one type of medical problem or another, paying 2 times, 3 times the price for the same product being sold in Canada, the UK, France, Germany, any place else in the world? Right. Meanwhile, while elderly people in California are cutting their pills in half, while millions of people cannot afford the medicine they need, the 5 largest drug companies in the country last year made $50 billion in profit. And the 10 executives, the 10 major executives in the pharmaceutical industry earned over $300 million. So you have this absurd situation where drug companies are making incredible profits, where the CEOs are making unbelievably large levels of compensation, and yet all over this country, people are getting sick because they can't afford the medicine they need, and in some cases, people are dying. We got letters from oncologists several years ago in the Senate who were writing, we have cancer patients who desperately need your medicine, but they cannot afford the price you're charging. And every month, it seems, there's another company that is doubling its prices. And right now, because of the power of the pharmaceutical industry, we are the only major country on earth that allows the drug companies to do anything they want. If you walk into a pharmacy tomorrow, the price you are paying for your medicine can be double or triple what it was several years ago. There are no laws to stop them from doing anything they want. Now, what is extraordinarily interesting about the fight that you are fighting is that you are exposing to the world just how greedy this pharmaceutical industry is. I was just on the phone, just a few hours ago, I was on the phone with a very, very sophisticated guy in Washington, D.C. And I was mentioning that I was here tonight. And I said, do you have any idea what the pharmaceutical industry is spending against Proposition 61? He said, well, no, I don't know, but I'm guessing $10-20 million. That's what he thought. That they are spending $126 million. $126 million to defeat a proposal that will lower drug costs for the people of California. It is incomprehensible. And what they are saying to you and what they're saying to the people of California, we control what goes on. We will charge you any damn price we want. There is nothing you can do about it. Well, on Tuesday, there is something you can do about it. And I think, instead of spending $126 million to defeat this proposal, wouldn't it be nice if the drug companies gave out $126 million worth of medicine to the people who need it? No, it's not Bernie. No. It's not Bernie. It's you. I don't vote in California. You do. Now, I want to tell you something, because ironically, and this kind of brings it home to me, what you guys are doing is taking on the entire economic and political and financial establishment. That is what you're doing. You are touching on the ultimate corruption that we see all across this country. What's going on with the drug companies is no different than what the crooks on Wall Street did in destroying our economy. Same business. And in fact, isn't it ironic that almost every major drug company in this country has been charged with fraud or had to reach a settlement with the government and had to pay fines of billions of dollars for ripping off the American people? What you are touching on here, and this is really a big deal. It is, you have heard me talk about the political revolution. You are engaging big time in that revolution. And what you're touching on, let's just go what you're touching on. You're touching on a moral issue. Question, is it morally appropriate for drug companies to deny access to medicine for people who desperately need it, to charge them outrageous prices when in some cases it costs pennies to manufacture that pill? This is not only a moral issue, it becomes a healthcare issue above and beyond prescription drugs. Because as the price of prescription drugs go up and up and up, the price of health care in America goes up and up and up. Price of insurance goes up and up and up. And as a result, you're going to have people who cannot afford insurance because of the rising cost of prescription drugs in this country.
You're right.
This becomes, as I mentioned before, an economic issue in a broad sense. We have an industry that makes tens and tens of billions of dollars, pays its CEOs outrageous salaries and compensation packages, and yet so many people, children, the elderly, the sick, people with chronic illnesses, cannot afford that medicine. The other issue that you guys have brought out, I know you didn't mean to, but you did, is the corruption of our campaign finance system. Now I know you are used to it and you're seeing it, but take a step backward and appreciate that in a democratic society, there are always two sides to an issue, five sides to the issue, and we appreciate debate, good debate. But it is clearly not appropriate that one side in this debate has unlimited resources. They rip off the American people. They make huge profits. And anytime people stand up and fight back, they throw those profits into a campaign. And this tells us why we have to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision. It is not just that major corporations and the billionaire class are trying to buy the Senate and the House and the White House. We are seeing exactly what big money in politics is about. We are seeing how campaign contributions make it impossible for politicians to have the courage to stand up and fight back. So, now it's not me. No, it's not me. I want you to know, again, I want you to appreciate this fact. A couple of years ago, well, it was more than a couple of years ago, I was on the floor, I guess I was in the House then, and I said at that time that the pharmaceutical industry is like the Rocky Marciano of politics. I don't know if all of you know who Rocky Marciano was. He was an undefeated heavyweight champion. These guys never lose. They own the system, they own politicians, and when they're challenged, they have unlimited resources. You, right now, are giving them the toughest fight they have ever had. So I just am here tonight and tomorrow just to thank you, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you from the people of Vermont and people all over this country. You are fighting a fight for every American. And your fight is reverberating around this entire country. These guys in the pharmaceutical industry are getting nervous. You don't spend $126 million unless you're pretty nervous. You put them on the run. Keep up the pressure. Let's beat them on Tuesday. Thank you all very much.
If you want to show your support for Yes on 61 and for Bernie, tomorrow 10 o'clock at Pershing Square, we're going to rally and march again. And every single one of you has a responsibility, because there's no such thing as a free rally, to contact every person you know by phone, by snail mail, by whatever, by Facebook, by social media, get them out to vote, and tell them to tell all their friends, Yes on 61. Have a great evening. Thank you.